I appreciate you coming on the show, brother.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, man, you just came back from what was it, a media?
Yeah, we had an opening tonight, premiering the new food hall that we're working on in Chino. And I knew Eastvale was over here, and I was like, I gotta make my way. And we're gonna knock it out tonight.
Yeah. Dude, man, I appreciate you coming, man.
Thanks for having me.
I think let's see, I reached out to you. I think it was almost 2.5, 3 months. Yeah, and I was finally able to get you, man.
Well, I think you're definitely persistent. You made it. We're trying to figure out how to make it work, and I'm super glad to be here.
Dude, I appreciate it, man. As you could tell with the miscues there, I just had to get it going, man. But you know what? I didn't want to miss this opportunity, and truthfully, I gotta tell you, I wasn't gonna take no for an answer. I knew I was gonna find you some way, man. I know you're doing a lot of great things in your space. I see you doing some impactful things, and this is what this podcast is all about. And I know, I don't know if you got the chance to see some of the past episodes, but really what I try to do is have a very laid back conversation, and as if the audience is sitting right next to us. And again, hopefully
we're on our lap.
yeah, I know, huh? And hopefully, again, they gain something out of this. And my mission is for, to really spread your mission and what you're about and your service and what you're trying to do.
Of course.
So anyway, dude, Andy, so let's talk about like your upbringing and how everything all started. I feel like you're obviously a giant in your industry, but I know it all didn't start there, right? Lots of things definitely didn't start there. Let's talk about your upbringing and what was that like? Where exactly are you originally from?
I am born and raised in Orange County.
Okay.
Born in the city of Fountain Valley. I grew up in my entire life in the city of Westminster. And if you've ever been in the city of Westminster, there's a lot of people that look just like me. A lot of it's the biggest Vietnamese community outside of Vietnam.
Okay.
So it's a huge pocket of Vietnamese people. And my parents came in the 70s during the war, and after the war they migrated over to America.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So how long were you there in Westminster? How many years?
Literally all my life. I've been there like all 30. Well, not let's say 30 years of my life until now. I'm living like Costa Mesa now.
You're in Costa Mesa now?
Yeah, which is like 10 minutes.
5 minutes away.
Which is still home, like it's still a part of me. So
I feel like you're all over OC though, right? Because you have like a lot of business over there.
Yeah. Orange County is like everything to me. I'm always trying to put OC on the map. For me, I love that town. I don't think I'll ever leave. I'll probably live there forever. Like I don't see myself moving out. Yeah.
Would you say Westminster was a big part of kind of what shaped you, or did a lot of that happen later?
Of course, being in Westminster, there's that was like very, very early on of Vietnamese American culture and trying to like find your mold in there, and having people that are not Vietnamese American not understand your culture, and then you have all these Vietnamese that are either, if they're from Vietnam, they come here, you don't really fit in with them, but you also don't really fit in the people that are like also born in America. You're like in this weird space.
Yeah. So, all right. How exactly? So, were you into? Because I've seen you've been in a couple of different industries. How did you start off? Like, were you into a certain a space at the time, or were you into like apparel initially, or in real estate, or where exactly? Like, how did you all start?
So I was I wrote about recently. I was like my parents' worst nightmare as a kid. I'm not like.
I read that.
I'm not really I'm not like the loud, disrespectful kid that yells at your pack. Like those little crazy kids that yell back at their parents. I'm not that. I'm definitely not that.
Yeah.
I'm like super quiet. I don't really say much.
Yeah.
So I was like really awkward. Like I didn't even learn how. My parents said I didn't even really start talking until I was 4 years old.
Wow.
So I didn't really say much. I always grew up kind of like weird and awkward, and always trying to like figure out my way in. But I always fell into like mischievous things, and always like breaking the rules, but not trying to like physically hurt people. Like my goals never. I don't like that. I feel weird about that.
Yeah.
But growing up, I always fell in the wrong crowd, and I always messed up one way or another. So one way or another, I was like, fuck something up. I remember 8th grade. I got arrested in 8th grade for shoplifting with my friends at the mall.
Oh man.
9th grade, I kept getting in trouble. There's so many so many gangs at my school where I was getting bullied all the time. I was getting fights. I was getting suspended, and then I ended up getting kicked out of my school after my freshman year.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing when you're Asian.
Yeah.
Education is everything, and my parents are, they're like, "What's wrong with you? How are you? You're Asian. How are you feeling now?
Yeah.
You're born in America. How are you feeling English? You're a fucking idiot."
Yeah. Like they have had high expectations for you. I'm sure, just like every other Asian.
Just like every other Asian parent, like education is like everything. That's like that, and I'm like the bottom of the list, and I can't even pass freshman year in high school, which would be a breeze. But what they don't know is going on is my head was like, things are in my head were like, dude, like I'm getting bullied every day. I mean, pushed around, and I can't focus. All my mind. I'm just worried about like survival mode and making it through this freshman year.
Wow, dang, early in high school.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of things that were going on, that they didn't know about, and that's what kind of caused like the way you behaved. Yeah,
and you don't really go to home and yell like, "Hey, mom, dad, getting bullied by like kids at school." Like they'll probably tell my dad, be like, "Hey, go fight them or something. Go figure it out yourself."
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, I'm not gonna try to fuck with them. I'm dead. I'm gonna be killed. And that's like the things that are running through my head the entire time.
Yeah. So what did you do during that time? Did you kind of just stick it through? I mean, freshman year is like just the first year of high school.
Yeah, so my sophomore year, I was in continuation school.
Okay.
During continuation school, I pretty much stuck at home all the time because I only go pick up my homework at that continuation school once a week.
Yeah.
And then the worst part is I live right across the street from the high school I used to go to.
Okay.
And the bell rings when people are leaving, and I had to look out my kitchen window, and I see all my friends having a good time and leaving, and I'm stuck here because I can't go out because I'm a stupid kid. I don't get to go hang out with my friends.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm like, dude, do I want to continue this for the rest of my life? Like, do I want to continue? I can probably, if I go continuation school, I'd probably graduate a little earlier. But I wanted to hang out with my friends. I wanted to be social. I was like, I got to figure this out. The older gangsters are graduating anyways. I need to find my way back into the school.
Yeah. So
I worked my butt off, and I said, I'm going to come back as a different person. I'm going to come back as a person who I know who I really am. That's what I'm going to come back as. And I think through my influences and inspirations at the time, that led me to how I became after that, and the path into who I am today. And that is like a lot of like being myself, as you can see how I'm dressing today. Very,
I love it, man.
Always not really worrying about what everyone has to say. Like everyone always has something to say anyway. So it is what it is. And as long as I just enjoy and be comfortable who I am, and I've taken that in, and it's pretty much led me to now.
Who were some of those people that you speak of that influenced you and inspired you?
Inspired me, obviously, my parents are a big inspiration because they've seen what they've gone through for us here. They came from Vietnam and they made things work, and I was like, I can't be that kid that I have so much more opportunity than they have, and I'm not doing anything with it. I need to figure this out. It should be like a cakewalk for me, a breeze. Yeah. And then I was into urban culture, hip hop music, everything. So I'm listening. I'm like Tupac, Biggie, everything. Listening to that stuff, Bone Thugs, and a lot of hip hop and East Coast rap. So I come to school like in Jordans, Timberlands, and I'm wearing like double XL outfits, and I have like my Asian Dragon Ball like bleached hair and all this stuff.
Dude, if I went to your school, we would have got along.
We would have been homies for sure.
Yeah, bro. There's the 6-inch Tims, man. I remember those days.
So I started developing myself and getting more confidence. I started getting involved in like clubs, participating in dance, music, key club, whatever I could be, basketball, anything I could be a part of, I would join. Just so I could be like involved in like socially having a good time with my friends. Yeah. And then that, like I was like school's best dressed after that. Senior year, I'm a completely different person when I was a freshman.
It sounds like
I was like
man.
The school's social butterfly now. I'm like this kid that didn't talk when I was 4, and now I'm the social butterfly in my yearbook. I'm the best dressed in my school, when before that I was like an invisible person freshman year. It's
That's crazy.
So I'm like coming into who I am. I became like the school's dancer, the school's fashion kid. Yeah. And that kind of like led me into, like I said, just led me into where I
everything else that you are.
Exactly.
Dang, that's crazy. It sounds like it's like as if like I don't know, like you went into like summer, and then you come back, and it's like, dang, who's Andy?
Yes,
Right?
who's that new kid? Like, I'm pretty much. I had a chance to like disappear and like
Uh-huh.
come back as a person. Everyone's like, "Who's that guy?"
Yeah.
And they're like, "It's Andy." Like my friends are like, "It's Andy. He was here before." They're like, "Oh, I didn't even know who that guy was before."
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, shit. Now I can rebrand myself and be who I know I really am.
That's crazy because you know, you were at such a young age, and
Yeah.
some kids aren't able to adapt and do that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's crazy that you were able to do that. And it sounds like, the rest of your years in high school was actually, it was good. It
Yeah,
sounds
no,
like.
I had a great time,
Yeah.
and that I always cherish those moments because if that didn't happen and I didn't get kicked out of school, maybe I always would have been that invisible kid that never said anything, and now I'm like
Things would have
not
been a
afraid.
lot different.
Of course,
Sounds like.
now I'm like not afraid to express myself in any way now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I find. I find very unique because obviously I follow you on social
Yeah.
media. I find your personality and just everything you're about so unique. I think that's what really distinguishes somebody,
Yeah.
and everything that you're saying. And I see it too with your outfit and everything. But I love it, man. I'm kind of the same way,
Yeah.
truthfully. Um, let's talk about a little bit after high school.
Okay.
Where were you heading to from that point?
Right after high school, once you get kicked out of school and you're trying to apply for colleges, you're not going to get into any college.
Oh yeah, it's like a DUI or something.
Your only choice of college is community college. That's it.
Okay, I went to community college too.
Yeah,
So all right.
there's no Cal States. There's no UCs. Don't even forget the SATs. Don't even try it. Forget it.
Don't waste your time.
Wasting time.
Yeah.
So I was like fuck it. I got to go to community college. If I don't go, my parents are gonna kill me. So I got to go. So I went to community college. I took you got to take your general ed classes.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to take a business course. I took like business law. And I'm like, okay, they're not talking about anything in this class anyways. And then I took career planning. And I remember taking career planning, and they gave you gotta take all these surveys, right? And
Yeah.
the surveys, it's like, surveys, taking surveys, and these are the jobs you get. And you pull up your like office admin, janitor, like all these things that I was like, dude, like I'm not doing any of this shit. There's no way I'm gonna do this. I'm already rebellious as is, and you're tell me I have to do these jobs, and I see people that do these jobs. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, that's not me. Construction worker, blah blah blah. I was like, I'm the least handiest person ever. Like, this is not me. There's no way I'm gonna do any of this. And then,
so basically, the results were bogus.
They were bogus. And I was like, this is crazy. I was like, where's like a fashion guy? Where's like, I want to work in music. Can I be in music A&R? But none of these are like things I wanted to do. Like, can I work in basketball to helping like players or something? Like, none of these were on the list. I was like, okay, I gotta figure this out.
Yeah.
So I have this best friend. His name is Polo. I've known him since 8th grade, and one day we went to go party in Cal State, University of Santa Barbara. We're driving back home, 2-hour drive, hungover, and then
I love it.
he's talking. He's like, he was 6 months in. He was already 6 months. 6 months in college, he dropped out already. Community college. And I'm like, you're crazy. You're dropping out of college. He's like, I'm doing this real estate appraisal thing. And I'm like, real estate appraisal? What the hell are you talking about? I don't know what that means. He goes, I'm working for this young guy, and he's pulling up Range Rovers and whatever. He's making a lot of money. You should go do it. You could join me and do it too. And I'm like, real estate?
You don't know shit about it.
Buying houses stuff type of things? He goes, no, there's like all these other things you can do. I was like, okay, yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
And he goes, do it. We can go start our own company. I'm like, wait, what? He's like, you could start your own company? I was like, we're only 18 years old. That's not possible. He goes, yeah, I know how to do it though. I saw this guy, what he's doing. We can do the same thing. And I'm like, oh shit. This is the perfect opportunity. Like, what do I have to lose right now anyways?
Yeah.
So I go home and tell my parents, I'm like, hey, I'm going to go do this real estate appraisal thing. And they're like, hey, you're still going to go to school, right? I'm like, oh yeah. I'm just going to go to school still.
Yeah.
So I started taking my real estate appraisal classes, and then I had to slowly start dropping, not going to my classes and start dropping out of college. And it's like a group of 5 of us that end up doing it, and I'm like the only one that passed and got my license. And we started doing that for a few years, and we started making a good amount of money for kids at like that age, like 18, 19 years old and 20. You're making from a minimum of $350 a day to like $3,000 a day. And imagine if you're doing that every single day, like 5 days a week, for like, on weekdays, you're making a lot of money at that age for kids. So we started our first company after I got my license, called Home Source Appraisal. And
Was that like the introduction towards the entrepreneurial space? You'd say?
That was right around then. I think before, right in the middle of that, right before that, I was trying to like sell some like music speaker backpacks to start my own company with my friend, and then that didn't work out because we didn't know what the hell we were doing, and the price point was too high.
Yeah.
So like the real estate thing was like, okay, this is working. Like we're starting to like really make money now,
Okay.
and I hated it.
Oh, you didn't like it.
I didn't like it because I didn't like driving around taking pictures of people's houses in the hood and getting chased and all this stuff, and driving into cities that I never even knew about. The thing I did gain from it was I learned how to like start my own company. I learned how to drive a lot better in directions. Like now, like when I drive around, like finding freeways, I'm like a wizard at like finding my way out of neighborhoods and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, and taking pictures and fasting run. Like I got that shit unlocked now.
Yeah. Like a drive-by.
It's like a drive-by. But then, when you think back at it, you're like, dude, why would you let any 18, 19-year-old kid go appraise your home? Like, do they even know what they're doing? Like, because I didn't. I was just doing whatever. This is what the guy taught me. I'm just gonna do exactly what he did. But I don't really understand what I'm doing. I'm just doing it to get by and get paid.
Yeah.
And the regulations started to change, and I'm like, this sucks. I hate this. And during that same time period, I had a friend who had a clothing brand. It was like a startup clothing brand. He calls me up. He's like, yo, Andy, or hit me up a name, whatever. He goes, hey, can you be a model for my lookbook photo shoot? I'm like, model? You got the wrong person, right? I'm like, I'm not a model, dude. He goes, I'll give you free clothes. I was like, all right, what do you want me to do? I'm down for free clothes.
Yeah.
I'm in. So I did the photo shoot with him, and it's so stupid. I look like an idiot in it. And after the photo shoot, we hang out a lot. We talk a lot more. He's like, I need to get an office space. He goes, do you guys want to get an office space together? We'll share it. I was like, well, how much does it cost? A few $100 each side. I was like, okay, cool, let's do it. So we got this office space, and it's probably slightly bigger than this room, not too much bigger than this room. And it's it's our company and his clothing brand.
The real estate appraisal.
The real estate appraisal and the clothing brand. And you see my focus start shifting, and I'm like every day paying attention to what this guy's doing.
Yeah.
I was like, this is what I want to do. This is way cooler than this.
Yeah.
I was like, I have no interest in this. You're not making jack shit in income, but this is way more fun, and this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And he had a fallout with his one partner, and he's like, I'm gonna start another brand. So he starts showing me the mock-ups. I'm like, oh, that's tight. This is way better than your first brand.
Yeah.
Let me get in on it.
It's like he's fishing. He was like fishing you in or something. Maybe not purposely, right?
But kind of. But he's just showing me because he's working on it already. I was like, damn, you got another brand already. This is tight. Like, I want in. Let me get in on it.
Yeah.
I'll invest all my money that I have.
Yeah.
And he goes, no.
He says no?
He said no to me. And I'm like, why? Like, what do you mean no?
Yeah.
He goes, I don't think you're ready for this. I was like, I'm not ready. I'm ready. I've been helping you. I've been like I'm pretty much like a fake intern, like doing all your work, like doing these things.
Yeah.
I could do a good job at this. Like, let me in. Like,
because you were helping him.
I was helping him. So I was seeing things. I was like, dude, I got this. So he goes, no, I don't think you're ready for it. I go, all right, I forget you then. And then he ends up picking up a partner, and then they start the brand, and then we're still sharing the office for a little while more. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna study what he's doing for the next few months. And then I went back to my best friend Polo, and I was like, hey Polo, I got this great idea. Let's go start our own clothing brand. We're gonna go take these guys out. We're gonna do a better job than them. Fuck them.
Yeah. Like competition mode at this point.
Like, fuck it. I'm gonna learn what I need to learn, and I'm gonna dip out and we're gonna start our own brand. And then he's like, okay, let's do it. So we came up, all these ideas on like finding designers and sales reps and things that we had no idea what the hell we were doing. Everything that I thought I knew, I learned from them. When I got into it and did it myself, I was like, okay, flat. I did everything. I was like, okay, this is not how you're supposed to do it. Yeah. This is how we need it. Forget how they did it. Just do it our own way. We'll figure it out. Yeah. So we launched this brand. We called it Imaginary Kingdom. Okay. The reason why Imaginary Kingdom is the kingdom we refer to as your brain. That's the most valuable thing that you own. Okay. Is where all your ideas come from. You have this imaginary kingdom, and we cut the words down, which were inspired by a bathing ape and babe and stuff. So we got inspired by that, and you get Imaginary Kingdom. You cut it down, you get the word I'm king. Yeah. And then that name just like stuck. Like it was supposed to be like working with the two names, but people just kept going, I'm king, I'm king, I'm king. So we're like, we're gonna run with this name. Yeah. And we launched the brand in 2007, the summer of that year. The beginning was a rough start, but we did pick up a few good key accounts.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think we dropped this like Lindsay Lohan inspired t-shirt that said "Stay in Rehab," and then that shirt got crazy. Like we got like crazy amount of orders from Japan and everything. And all these distributions started calling us. We're like, okay, we're onto something. Let's keep the ball rolling. And we drop our second season, and then sales pick up. And then after sales picks up, one of my friends, Chris, he worked for another clothing brand. He ended up picking him as our sales rep. We brought him on, and you could see like the traction start picking up. And we were like lacing up all these rappers early on. We're like, this guy's gonna be tight. Let's lace him up. And we got this other person running around my office who happens to be Kendrick Lamar, and I didn't know who the hell he was. And I'm like,
the real,
like the Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, damn, okay.
The Kendrick Lamar running around my office grabbing clothes in the office, and he was like, no one knew who the hell he was. I didn't even know who he was. I'm like, these guys in the office grabbing clothes. Mm-hmm. And he goes, no, these are like, because everyone was on J-Rock at the time. J-Rock just dropped a single with Lil Wayne back in the day.
Yeah.
And we laced them up. And then you have Kendrick in the office grabbing clothes, Absol and Schoolboy Q. And we're like,
we're
just trying to lace up J-Rock. Who are the rest of these guys?
Yeah, who are these guys? Yeah. The entourage or something, you know?
And then he's inviting us to go listen to them in the studio. Like, hey, you want to go check out? I'm working on this album. You want to go check it out? Like, I'm working on my project. And I said, my marketing guy's like, oh, you go check them out. Like, I don't have time. I'm busy working. So our marketing guy goes and he comes back. He goes, hey, this guy's sick. I'm like, that guy?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, this project's gonna kill it.
Yeah.
And he drops the project and he just like gains traction. But yeah.
Damn, that's a crazy story. So you were there and when Kendrick was like still just rising, I guess.
In my office, was running around grabbing clothes, like. And he's like trying to jump in the pictures, and I'm like, "Hey, move out of the picture! I'm trying to get J-Rock in the picture." Who the hell's this guy?
That's crazy.
Stuff like that. But he came around pretty often at the time, and we kept lacing him up after that. It was pretty cool.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah,
so you guys seem to have been doing pretty good for a couple years, I would imagine. Like you said, I'm King.
Yeah.
I remember because you were. It was like what on Karma Loop.
Yeah,
right?
Karma
it was like on a bunch of. I know I had a
Loop.
few shirts actually. I know that, and I know it got pretty big.
Yeah, we're in all the stores, the Zoomies, Tilly's, the PacSuns, all those accounts are in the Karma Loops, especially the Karma Loops. Those are big accounts that we worked with at that time.
Yeah. Did you guys have a big team? Like I would imagine with you blowing up like that.
I think at our peak time we were around close to 40 members on our staff.
Okay. Wow.
But then the clothing industry is a crazy game. It's definitely not easy, and it's always shifting and in and out, and working with the right people. And that was me in my early 20s. I was a kid at the time. Yeah. Kid at the time, having people that are younger and older than me working there, and I'm trying to figure out how to lead them because you're not really taught this. You're not really taught to like, hey, you need to be a leader. You need to learn how to do. You need to learn how to manage. You need to learn how to do production, sales, marketing. Everything.
Yeah.
Run a company, accounting, everything. And these are things that we have to learn along the way. And we're kids doing it. And we're a bunch of like misfit kids all working together.
Yeah. So there was like, would you say there was kind of like no guidance in leadership? Is that kind of where?
I think there was guidance along the way that we're picking up and trying to learn. But then the guidance we're getting, we're like, it doesn't work for our brand. It didn't work for who we were.
Gotcha.
All of us were like, there's so much talent on this team. If you look at the team now and where everyone has come from. Yeah. Like, there's a bunch of like huge multimillionaires under the I'm King branch, that I'm King family. People that have gone to start their own companies, the people that work for an hour are like huge people. And if you ask people in the industry like, oh, who's the guys that are like killing it? They go, oh, the whole I'm King team. That whole I'm King team are like, they're like legends in the game. Like they're like I got Chris and Lee who like they own their own agency that has eight brands, and they're doing like 50.
That's 60, the leverage.
The leverage. And they're doing like 50, 60 million a year. And those guys used to work for me. Lee was our intern.
Crazy.
And Chris was our sales rep, and he was like a kid that came from like nothing. He like started like nothing. Chris had nothing, and like he built his empire. Yeah. And we have Marilyn, who like is like Skrillex's like right hand person. And you got like Brian, who is an amazing visionary, and he's doing photo shoots for like all these huge companies right now.
Dang, that's crazy. So a lot of people doing some of that crazy stuff and starting these large companies came from that umbrella.
Yeah, they came from our umbrella.
That's crazy. Yeah. So what exactly happened with I'm King? Like you said, the game, the apparel is very hard.
Apparel is we didn't understand a lot of things. I think a lot of our pitfalls were our age. We're so young. Okay. Everyone, the egos got in the way. The fights. Like we're like pretty much you put a bunch of high school kids together and like now we'll go run a business. You already know what's gonna happen. You already know it's gonna be there's fireworks gonna happen. Like because we're treating it like it's like a schoolyard. You know, everyone's like working together. We party together. We hang out. We did everything together. It's like this fraternity that was together.
Oh man,
And
okay.
imagine like kids doing that and trying to run a business at the same time. It's not easy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think after like like not understanding production of overseas production and ordering all these garments and not being prepared for it and not getting screwed over.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, some seasons we're like making tons of money. Other seasons we're like getting screwed. We're like, dude, how do we keep the lights on? And I think that cycle over and over again it like wore us out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we dealt with like an investor group in our 5th year. We picked up an investor group because they're like, oh, this guy's gonna take us to the next level. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Ended up being worse than what we were doing. We're like, dude, why did we do that? We would have just killed it on our own.
Mm.
And after
So
that,
bad investor.
After that, I just gave sour taste on our mouth, and we're like, let's just figure this out right now. Let's just figure something else out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was your exit, basically. It was just kind of.
We didn't really exit along the way because at that same time period, obviously we had different ideas and different things that we all wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I found new hobbies at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And my new hobbies were food.
Uh-huh.
And I was traveling a lot for trade shows. And during the trade shows, I'd go out and Yelp everything. Like I always used to write on my blog anyways, on the I'm King blog. If you looked at I'mKing.com, I was always like writing at restaurants and writing about food. And I became like the food guy.
Yeah.
Like you wanted to know top places to eat in a certain city, you're going to call me up. Or you're going to read the I'm King blog.
Yeah.
And that became like a thing for me. And I remember like going to like different places and I'll be like, dude, what the fuck is this? These ice cream stores are crazy. Like,
yeah.
They got these gnarly flavors I've never seen in my life. You know, you go back home, you got Baskin Robbins, you got Cold Stone, you got Thrifty.
And then
which are your usual flavors.
Yeah.
And I see all these flavors, I'm like, hey, I need to do something like this.
Yeah.
I can do it better.
Yeah.
And
there's like an art and creation. Like I'm trying to pick your brain here a little bit. There's like an art and creation when it comes to food, obviously.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. You just look at it, and so what did it feel like? Because you slowly exited I'm King, basically, right? Yeah. Or you basically stopped, and then you slowly started translating.
Started transitioning. Like
transition.
It kind of like weaved into each other, but that whole thing happened.
And then you started to get into food. So how did so you were obviously, and you're going to trade shows. How did the food journey kind of really start? Like, where did that all begin now?
I think when I had the ice cream idea, I had the idea from my head for about 2 years.
Okay.
I kept pitching. Honestly, I was giving the idea to like so many different people. I was like, hey, yo, I got this ice cream idea. You have the mini waffle sandwiches, and you can make a ton of money off of it. No one's doing it over here.
Yeah.
And I was like, ice cream's probably not hard to make. Like, you can probably go figure out how to buy it somewhere and make it happen.
Yeah.
And everyone was just like laughing, ha ha ha, yeah, whatever.
Yeah. Oh, sorry to interrupt, but you came from no food experience in restaurants.
I've never worked in food a day in my life. I freaking
love this story. I love it.
I never fast food. I've never been a server.
Okay, I love this.
I've never done any of that stuff. So, yeah, we had no prior experience of going to food, and
this is beautiful, man.
I had the idea and I pitched it. And I remember we were looking we had an I'm King retail shop in Santa Ana.
Yeah.
And we were looking to move our shop. And I know that we were looking on this place called 4th Street. And we were talking to like the landlord. We're like, I got this crazy idea. I was like, how about we have this ice cream store in front, and we have a refrigerator that has a secret door that leads to the I'm King store in the back. So you have the speakeasy clothing store that sells clothing, but you have the ice cream store in front. And I had this idea and I pitched it, and we were trying to take the location. And I remember asking my friends who had an ice cream truck. It was called what's the ice cream truck for? They sold like ice cream bars. I think it's called longboards.
Okay.
And I was asking them, I was like, hey, can you guys make me ice cream flavors and can help me develop it, and we can make an ice cream store and you guys sell it back. And they're like, yeah, maybe we can help you, but it ended up not working out.
So they weren't interested.
They pretty much weren't interested.
Okay.
And I kept throwing the idea out. Only like one of my friends was like, oh, I'm down to like, if you do it, I'm down to invest in it. And everyone else was like, whatever. And then I had one of my friends who I grew up with, and we went to dinner one night, and we were just like throwing back ideas. And we were just talking about like all things we want to work on, and our ideas were like flowing together. Like it was like hitting. I was like, hey, I want to do an ice cream store. He's like, oh, I want to do a dessert shop, and I want something to open like late at night because after we go to dinner, I still want dessert, and all these places are closed. And I was like, oh shit, that makes sense. That's cool. So we kept like hanging out more. And I've already known this guy since I was in 2nd grade already. And we're at the gym and we're talking about all the time. And he's like, are you down to do it? Let's do it, right? I was like, okay, let me think about it. I was like, I'm not gonna leave my best friend and stuff hanging.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, if I do, I'm gonna bring in my guys, like Polo. I gotta bring him on.
Yeah,
He's my best
the
friend.
people you've been working with
Exactly.
already.
I was like, hey, if I'm gonna roll with him. This is my dude. And so I talked to, which is Scott, and Scott's my partner.
Mm-hmm.
I told Scott, I was like, hey, if I do, I'm gonna bring in Polo, and I'm bringing my other partner David. We're gonna make this work. He's like, okay, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go find the shop. I'm gonna go look for an ice cream shop right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go buy them out.
Damn, that's crazy.
I was like, for real? He's like, yeah, I found. He's like, hey. The next day, he's like, hey, I found it. I found the shop. I was like, what? He's like, it's across the street from the gym we work at. I was like, there's an ice cream shop there? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna talk to the guy and hit him up. So he's, I think for like a long time we're trying to buy this guy out, this place out, and the owner is like, no, I don't really want to sell my shop. We're like, dude, you're not open. Just like you shouldn't do it anymore. Just give it up.
It's like, yo, throw in the towel, man.
He's like, no, I still want to make ice cream. And we're like, fuck, we don't know how to make ice cream.
Yeah.
Well, let's figure out how to make this work. So I start sending him. Well, he's like, okay, fine. And this guy's like, he's a Caucasian guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like in his mid-60s. He's already at retirement mode.
Uh-huh.
And he's here listening to these like knucklehead Asian kids.
Yeah.
Like telling him all these crazy ideas. And he's like, we're like, yeah, we want jasmine milk tea ice cream. We want blue ice cream. We want like cookie butter and all this stuff. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I've never seen these flavors. I don't even know what this is.
Yeah, so I wanted to ask about these flavors. Yeah. You guys really like just brainstormed ideas and these flavors, like, yo, I want to do this flavor, this flavor.
We took ideas of stuff like things we were into and things we were eating and things we wanted to turn into ice cream. As I was like, I love boba. I always drink jasmine milk tea when I go drink boba. How do we turn this into this ice cream?
That's crazy.
And then we turned the ice cream. I was like, okay, well, I want it purple because the word jasmine sounds like very like female-ish to me. So I want to make it lavender. I want to make this lavender. And everyone's like, lavender. I was like, I want a lavender.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I have the Cookie Monster flavor. I was like, okay, make that blue.
Yeah.
He's like, no one's gonna buy that if it's blue. I was like, trust me, it's gonna do. If you make it blue, people are gonna love it.
So he was looking at you guys like you guys were
like
crazy.
We're crazy. And we came in the store. We finally made the deal. Like it took like 6 months. We made the deal, and we started like ripping the store apart. Right, like we started painting the store all black. And you've never seen ice cream before 2014. There was no black ice cream stores.
Yeah, definitely.
And our stores are black, and it has quotes on the wall. This quote on the wall says, "Gucci Man loves ice cream." This wall says, "Let's talk more ice cream." Giant ass fonts. And this guy's like, oh, "You guys destroyed my store." We're like, "What are you guys doing?"
Yeah.
Like, And we're like, we're gonna make this shit cool. We're gonna have lines out the door.
Yeah.
And he's just laughing at us like, I don't know what you're talking about. Haha.
Yeah.
I've never done anything. I barely make $100 a day. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
And then
it's like you turned something so traditional into something cool and hip.
Because it was already the store was pretty much existing already. We kind of we fixed up the car, like a fixing up a car.
Yeah.
It's like a rice rocket. We turned this regular Honda Civic into a rice rocket.
Yeah.
And that's what we did. That's what we did after. We did what we knew. We kind of took all the elements of what we learned from like fashion at the time. Like, okay, well, we're like, oh, Chanel stores are cool right now. Oh, Apple is cool right now. Minimalistic. Big fonts are dope right now. So let's try to like that's how we're incorporating. That's how we turned that. That's why the after store has that black and white color and all that. Because we're like, okay, we're gonna be like the cool bad boys of ice cream. We're gonna change this game up.
Yeah. So a lot of branding mind into it.
Yeah, and then we launched the store, and obviously the Milky Bun was part of that project that we ended up going into and becoming. And we opened hoping we're like, we make a few $100s a day, cool, like we'll be happy. What can we expect? We never worked in food anyways. This guy's store was dead, and we have people coming. Then we'll be super happy.
Yeah.
Then next thing you know, lines down the block, and things every day gets picked up more and more and more and more and more, and the lines are like stretched down, and we're like, what the hell is going on now? Like we weren't joking. We were telling him like lines are gonna be outside the door, but we didn't know it was gonna be down the block.
Yeah.
And it was like that every day, and we're just standing there every day like this. Like,
how did that happen? Was it just word of mouth? Like,
it's a combination of a lot of things. I think a combination of like the timing of what was going on in the market.
Okay.
A few years before that was like the first time you ever see fusion food get popular was Roy Choi with the Kogi truck.
Okay.
So when he did the tacos and the Korean tacos, that was the first time people were like, Korean tacos, like that's crazy, you know.
Yeah.
And you saw lines down that
It's
truck.
clever. It's clever.
Yes, and then the next item that came out like years after, like food, okay, that made a wave of food trucks. But then when like fusion food came around, it was like the cronut came out.
Hmm.
The cronut came out
Yes.
in New York City. Dominique Ansel, he dropped that. Boom, food news everywhere. Everyone's trying to knock off and make this cronut type of item.
Hmm.
And then after that, a few months later, ramen burger. And we're like, okay, we need to capture the market now. So that's why we came up, we came with the Milky Bun. We hit right next. Timing was perfect.
Hmm.
Timing was perfect. Food news was in. Taking pictures of food was like a new thing.
Hmm.
Us understanding how to build and get people excited about product was a side of us that no one had already.
Yeah.
We know how to get people excited. We know, that's embedded in us from fashion already.
It's like hype.
Like,
Yeah.
we knew how to. We were like the kids of like, we're into that stuff. Like,
Yeah.
this is what we're into. This is music we listen to. We're gonna put that lifestyle into this brand right now.
Hmm.
And people were and it clicked. We clicked all like cylinders. Like, oh, the I'm King clothing guy is starting an ice cream store. What the hell? What the hell is this about? Let me go try it out.
Yeah.
Our friends from Food Beast, my friends were like from Food Beast. He used to do a clothing brand after, and he ended up doing Food Beast. So I was like, hey, can you write an article for us? So he ends up shooting it, and then Huffington News picks it up, Yahoo News picks it up, KTLA News picks it up, all the same day. And then you already know the rolling ball effect of media after that goes crazy, and everyone's sharing this like milk after's ice cream, Milky Bun, Cookie Monster ice cream, and then it just like spread like wildfire.
Hmm.
Literally.
How did that feel?
Surreal. It didn't feel like real. Like you're like, what's going on right now?
Mm-hmm. There's 4 of you guys, right? Or how many?
Yeah, there's like 5 of us.
5 of us.
There's like 5 of us. There's a group of 5 of us, and then
Obviously overwhelmed. It sounds like you were overwhelmed, but
definitely did not expect it.
okay.
And a lot of things going on at the same time. We've seen lines before. I've seen lines doing like the warehouse sales and clothing sales when we do like warehouse events. But seeing the afters line like I was like every day. It was like not normal, like on weekdays, like in the rain, people are lined up in the rain outside this, or just standing in the rain, just waiting in the rain and water, getting hit in the face and waiting to get their Milky Bud. You're like, fuck, what are you doing?
Well, I guess food's a lot different than Yeezys, I guess.
Because I was like, I guess, it is. It's a lot easier to sell food to everyone than selling clothing to a male-dominated audience.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Dang, that's crazy, man. So, after, what's the original location?
Fountain Valley. That's the city I was born in. City of Fountain Valley.
Dang, that's crazy, man. So, man, you obviously partnered up with some friends, and you just seem to, man, you just skyrocketed. It sounds like
it took off. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was obviously the dessert space.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start? Because obviously, you own and you're a partner and investor or whatever it is on a lot of different restaurants. When did you start, going out of the dessert?
I think after the first year, we're getting into our second, a year and a half now.
Mm-hmm.
And this opportunity came about where our friends were on a TV show called The Great Food Truck Race.
Okay. They
just finished filming. And I've known these boys already from before because they were trying to work with me in the clothing to do their merchandise for their food truck, and I couldn't do it. I was like, oh, I can't. I just did it with 2 other food trucks already. Mm-hmm. And then they finished the show, and we met up with them, and we're like, hey, how are you gonna capitalize on this? What are you guys planning to do? They go, we don't know. Mm-hmm. What do you mean you don't know? You gotta open a store. Yeah. They go, what? How do you open a store? Well, we can help you do that. And this brand was called GD Bro Burger, and we ended up partnering with them. We're like, you know what? We're gonna go find you a store. We're gonna get it open right before the show airs. Mm-hmm. So we like scrambled, and we figured out to like finagle our way into like getting the store, and we got it open right before the show hit. It's called GD Bro Burger.
Dang! So it was a burger joint.
Burger joint.
How? Obviously, it's a lot different than ice cream.
Yes.
Was it difficult going into like it's like a different lane of food?
It is a different lane of food, and ice cream lasts a lot longer than like burger items. Like buns don't last as long. Uh-huh. Meats don't, veggies, they don't last as long. And ice cream, you can just, that thing's frozen. You just put it in the cabinet.
You can store it.
And it's there, and you're chilling, for a while. But with all these like other things thrown at you with food, with like real food, it's hard. But we had a good early run with it. I think we put out this red bun that we made, and we called the raspberry bun. Mm-hmm. And that picked up, and it started getting a lot of traction. And we're like, okay, let's continue this going. And then people start, we started getting deals and offers from like other people. So we kept trying different concepts. And a lot of the early concepts actually didn't end up working out.
Didn't work
until
out.
the later concepts like now, the concepts now that really we started understanding the game and teamed up with different people and learning like different kind of partners that make sense and don't make sense. Yeah.
So were there? So it sounds like there were obviously some concepts that did that failed.
Yeah.
Did that set you back at all, or did you were such a beast and with the whole dessert thing, and you were so into the space already that you knew that anything that you'd put out, you'd still do a good job?
I think my mindset at the time was when I was in the I'm the king phase. I was so worried at the I'm king phase. I was like, I have to make it.
Yeah.
I have to do this. I can't fail, because if I fail, I put I pretty much told my parents I kind of fucked up my life. I'm like, hey, I went to go into imagine back in 2006, right? Where streetwear is like still a newish thing, and you're going to your parents, you're going, I'm going to go start a clothing brand.
Yeah.
I'm going to start a clothing brand as my career.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make money off doing this. And they're,
not very exciting.
Your parents are like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, are you stupid? Like, go back to school, please. Like, do something.
Open your book.
Get into this phase that, like, and then I was like, once afters hit, because I've already had success. I had like, ups and downs with the clothing brand. I was like, okay, that works. I know it now. Like, but I don't know if I know anything else. But once afters hit and that worked out, I was like, you know what? After this, if anything ever fails, I'll figure my way out. Because I was like, hey, if I can transition to another industry and kill it, then I'll be fine for the rest of my life. There's no way nothing can stop me. So I'm not worried about it. I was like, if shit fails, as long as I'm creating. And my mindset was also at the time was like, I just want to create. And I never want to sit there and look back on my life and wonder like, damn, I should have done this. Or, damn, I thought about that. I didn't put it out. Nah, I'm going to be that guy who's like, I did all this shit. If it worked out, great. If it didn't work out, I'm on to the next one.
On to the next one.
I'm quick, and I'm quick like that. I'm gonna continue going.
Yeah, I love it, man. Because there's a lot of people who are not able to pick up that fast. You know what I mean? Like once they, it's like, oh man, that was my idea, or like they failed. They're not able to pick it up and just move. It takes them a while, or if they don't even don't even pick up. Period. Like they just stop. You know what I mean? Yep. So you're able to pick it up fast. That burger joint, the other restaurant aside from Afters, did you have different partners and investors with that one?
We did have a investor group for that one.
Okay.
And we had a group of partners, a big group of partners, and that was literally one of the worst teams you could put together.
Wow. Okay. So it was a huge learning experience.
It was a huge learning curve because you dealt with like, it's hard to throw people under the bus. Yeah. But there's a lot of things like a lot of the things they don't teach you about like things like how to deal with like in business. In school they don't teach you how do you deal with like shady partners, how do you deal with people like that steal, how do you deal with people that have egos,
like basically relationships,
egos, everything. It's like a relationship. They don't teach you that. They don't teach you that in business. They go all these. You always hear people don't go into business with your friends or don't go into business with other partners, blah blah blah. But that's a super hard learning lesson, and it takes a lot of time to find the right people that you mesh well with.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to go into details, but where I wanted to go with this was, in your mind, what do you see or what do you look for when someone brings a restaurant concept to you? Okay. And like, what do you look for in an investor or a partner? Okay. Exactly.
Money part's always not really the part like you really look for anymore. Like you're like, money, whatever. I can make that. Like not like those are things like I don't really worry about too much that these days. If I need money, I'll use it myself, or I can find
it's available.
It's available now, obviously, because I have a track record. But what I look for in like partnerships now, it's like energy. Can I trust you? Yeah. Are you transparent? Like, hey, it's a relationship. It's just like a relationship. Like
it's like a marriage, right?
Because it is marriage. You're gonna be with this person for a long time, or it might be forever. But you want to make sure that you can trust them, you can work with them. They understand you. You're not stepping on each other's toes. You understand your role, like those things. Like you're filling each other's gaps. Like, hey, if I have someone that does the exact same role as me, it's not going to make sense. Or that vibe is like, to me, it means a lot. It holds like a high value to me. Like if you're a person that's like not trustworthy or transparent enough to, if you want to work with me, you need to be transparent. It's a marriage, like you mentioned, it's a marriage. You need to be able to express information. Like if you can't do that, then this is not going to work.
Yeah, communication's key.
It's definitely key.
Dang, that's crazy. Man. So you obviously started going, to other spaces in the food industry.
Mhm.
Um, it- what about like I guess like these concepts that come?
Okay.
Is it just like a clever idea, like going back to the Korean what
Mhm.
was it the Korean steak and like tacos and
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah,
So you're obviously looking like there's like a creative space in your mind. It's like okay, like oh dude, this is gold. Like
yeah, of
is
course.
that something like you just know like oh my oh man no
There's definitely two parts to it now. I think over
okay
time I've developed. This is a good tip for people that want to get in the restaurant industry. I think for me that I carry on these days now is you have two parts to it.
hmm
One part is you need to have a solid core menu
okay
because there's people out there that aren't brave. They don't want to try everything too crazy. You have to have not just a core menu, a great quality core menu. Like this is like something like when I want to do something, I was like, hey, I need to have something I can eat every single day. And I was like, hey, I can come back to this and I'll be like, damn, that was good. I'm gonna come back and eat that. That's like a solid burger. Like it didn't have any frills, didn't have any trick. You didn't have any tricks to it. That's fine. Like that. Like you need that menu. That needs to be your core menu. Work on that first. Make sure you have that menu tight, legit. Then you can work on the tricks. You want to do all the crazy stuff. You want to do all the crazy burgers, unicorn like us, like the magical burger we have
yeah
with Ground House.
yeah
That stuff can come, but you need to focus on your core first. The second part of it, yes, it's great to have these crazy items because how do you stand out against every other burger joint? You're up against the McDonald's, you're up against the In-N-Outs, you're up against all these other
yeah
chains. How do you stand out against? How do you stand out? How do you get people talking? Well, we put out this magical burger, maybe the most ridiculous idea ever, but to other people they go, "This is genius. This is awesome!" Like
it's gonna make noise
it's gonna make noise, and you're
yeah
getting people to talk. Like you're getting people to have conversation again. You're getting people to have like get out their seats and like go out and eat and enjoy and sit there and talk to somebody without having to be in your phone.
yeah
And that's like super important to me too, like an experience.
yeah
Yes.
dang I love that that's crazy so man, so obviously you have a lot of restaurants under your belt.
Mhm.
When did was there a time when you were like, okay, I'm a beast at this, like, and people started to come to you like, hey, Andy, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? Was there, I'm sure there was a time,
Yeah.
when you knew that you were pretty much an expert.
I always think like I'm always still learning. I'm always a student of it because I
hmm
haven't been honestly. I haven't been in that long. It's only been like less than 5 years,
Wow. Okay.
so I'm not really that seasoned in the food game.
hmm
And our first few projects, like let's say the first three projects afters,
hmm
they're not even around anymore.
hmm
So at that first few moments, like the second, third year, I didn't think I was an expert. I thought, dude, maybe we just got lucky.
hmm
Maybe this isn't gonna work out. Maybe I should just focus only on afters. I don't know.
hmm
But then my my creative mind wants to like continue to let those ideas flow and let
Yeah.
keep going and see what
Just
happens.
yeah.
And let's try to fix what we learned from the last time.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give up. I want to keep going, but I kept getting stuck in like really bad projects. And but then I hit one that worked, and I was like, hit that one that worked, and I was like, all right, if that worked, I can keep going.
hmm
Let's keep going. Let's
Yeah.
keep going.
It's like you missed 20 shots, but then eventually you'll
Exactly.
eventually hit
And
one.
then you get better at it. You keep shooting, and you get your better shot gets better. You start adjusting.
Uh-huh.
It's like adjusting and maneuvering the right way. And I've come across so much talented people, and I'm like, dude, I love what you do. I love what you're about.
hmm
I can come take you. I can take you to another level. I can take you to a different world.
hmm
Like, let me do it. Let me hone your skills and take you to things that you never imagined.
hmm
And that's what I want to do.
Are you finding yourself in a mentor space now? Because I see that you're doing some public speaking.
Yeah.
I think you're doing some seminars. I think I
Mhm.
saw.
Mhm.
Is that something that you're trying to do now, as far as like maybe lead the next generation, or like you said,
Mhm.
start? You see people with very talented, but you want to take them to another level or
Yes.
help them.
Mhm.
Is that something you're trying to do now?
I think I've always been trying to help others in
Okay.
general. Like I always like if I see talent, whether I'm involved or not, and I just appreciate it, like I want to go and help.
hmm
I'm like, dude, like don't waste your talent. Let me go in there, like let me shape you up and let me take you to this. Let me introduce you to this side of the world. Like use your talent, and this is what your life you can take your life to.
Yeah.
And I just want to be a part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it sounds you want to help people, and
Yeah, because even when
that's
I go,
cool.
if I'm going to seminars and schools and doing events, like I don't get paid for it.
Yeah.
And if I do get paid for it, I'm not gonna use the money. I'm gonna probably put it in my account and save it to like, here I'll invest. If I see a kid with a dope project, I'll take that money, invest it, and go crazy on it.
Yeah.
But for me, it's like, I could have learned earlier, or I could start earlier, or if I have that person that space, like if I can pick up anything, if I could give that out to someone else, then I need to share.
Kind of just like pay it forward.
Definitely pay it forward. Like I'm not. I can't. I'm not gonna be I'm not gonna be cool forever.
Yeah.
Kids are not gonna be thinking I'm awesome. Like, maybe I'll be 6 years of wearing this stuff if you're gonna be more.
Dude, I find you a very unselfish guy,
Yeah.
and it just seems like you love. Because dude, I see you hang out with like some of the most talented, like a lot of iconic people in the industry, and I feel like I feel like you have an infectious personality. Like people just get drawn to you, and I just think it's so cool that you're trying to pay it forward, and you're trying to you're taking your time away from. I'm sure you're super busy, and like you came onto the podcast and you're doing this public speaking, and like sometimes even for free, and that's dope, man. That's really cool. Let's talk about Groundhouse Burger since it's already here.
That's the one. Yeah,
You know
that's
what's
the one
fun?
right now. That's the one everyone's talking about right now.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
That's the monster.
Well, first off, I want to say your partner Bear. That guy's a beast, man. And
Bear.
if he's gonna listen to this, I'm gonna be relentless. Make sure he gets on the podcast.
Yeah,
That's
you
one
need
thing.
to get if you want to have you want someone to literally take you to another level, and you want someone to amp you like the ultimate hype man, like what you see on social media and how he talks like that. He's like that he's like that 24/7, 24 fucking 7. He calls me every day like this. I'm seeing the call. I'm like, I don't know how to get my energy to your level because I've never worked with anyone like him.
Yeah.
And when we decided to work on this Groundhouse together, I was like, my mind the light turned on. I was like, that's the guy I need.
Because again, it came back to energy and who you vibe with and stuff.
Of course.
Dude, what's crazy is this is a crazy story, but I love burgers so much that my friends actually call me Cheeseburger Eddie.
Yeah, Cheeseburger, yeah.
Cheeseburger Eddie. Or sometimes for short they call me Cheese. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And what's crazy is too, in another lifetime, I kid you not, I'd be a professional burger blogger. Okay. I'm not even freaking joking, man. So it's just funny that Groundhouse Burger is up in there, and I haven't visited, but I'm definitely gonna try it. In fact, I have a vacation coming. I'll keep telling my wife. I actually send the Ejay profile center. He's like, hey, we're gonna try this. We're gonna try this. We're gonna try this. Dude, that's crazy. So, dude, let's just talk about that magical burger real quick, since that's like the talk of the town. How did that idea come up?
Okay, I'll talk about how Groundhouse is first. What kind of concept Groundhouse is first? Because people have been questioning me so much lately, and I haven't got a chance to talk about it.
Sure.
Okay, Groundhouse. The reason Groundhouse came about was that my goal is I want a second crack at it. I want my second crack at this burger game.
Burger game. Okay.
Remember, I came in with the GD Bro, and that all fell apart, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I can do this a lot better. I was like, all the mistakes that I watched from GD Bro, I was like, I'm not gonna make this again. So when we first came up with Groundhouse idea, the guys came up with the name Groundhouse because of Roundhouse, Chuck Norris, Roundhouse kicked the face.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh, Groundhouse, that name's tight. Let's run with it. And then my goal is hey, I want to create an approachable burger, the next generation's In and Out, next generation's Shake Shack, something in our realm, more relatable to this generation. But I want this burger to be approachable. I'm not looking to have the burger that you can only eat once and you're like, oh, I'm dead, food coma, I'm done. I want this to be hey, I ate that. That shit is delicious. Like you remember the taste, right? I come back tomorrow. It's still good. It's good again. I'm not sick of it. I can come back and still enjoy it. But we do have a range of items where we do find inspiration, but we don't want it so heavy that's ridiculous. We want it a good burger. And then these fools, Bear and our chef Fernando, the story is ridiculous. I already told her already a gajillion times, and everyone just laughs. And it sounds unreal. Okay, this is how the story starts. So the Prince of Dubai, the Prince of Dubai is friends with Bear, and I hope he's not lying to me. This is but it's ridiculous. The Prince of Dubai is friends with Bear, and he goes, "Hey Bear, I want you come to. I'm in town. I'm going to New York. I'm in town. Come on, hang out with me." Bear's like, "Oh, I'm super busy. I can't. I miss my hometown, but I won't be able to go." And Bear's not really from there. He's joking. It was a joke. Mm-hmm. And he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna send you something. I'm gonna mail you something to make you remind you of home." So he mails him 100 of these rainbow bagels. Right? Okay. And then he brings it to Groundhouse, and then Fernando's "Oh, hey, where'd you come from?" He said, "Oh, I'm just chilling. I just got shipped these bagels. They're rainbow." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "Oh, I bring it to show you right now." And Fernando sees it. He goes, "I can make a burger out of that."
Dang.
So
So
I'm
the
like,
chef
something
got into
crazy.
like chef mode,
So
right?
they're both like, and you already seen Bear on the radio. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this crazy. And they're both hyping each other up.
Yeah.
And then I get there an hour later. I have nothing to do with this entire thing. I
Yeah.
walk there and I get there. I get to the restaurant. I walk up, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? And they're like, yo, check this out. We're gonna put this out next week. The Takashi 6ix9ine burger. I was like,
Takashi 6ix9ine.
I was like, what?
Treyway.
Like, we're gonna put it out next week. And I'm like, fuck. I was like,
In 1 week too?
Yeah, everyone's gonna talk about it. I was like, let's just do it. They're like, okay, how are we gonna make this happen? I was like, I don't know. Bear's like, we're gonna do it. I'm posting it right now. I was like, oh shit, he's posting it. We're just done. It's locked. So we're done. So we put it out. And then, dude, it's been going crazy. It's like everyone's shooting it, everyone's coming by. And you got Bear's energy on it, and we just got hit the Irvine Weekly Mag cover page yesterday.
I saw that, yeah.
So
congratulations on that.
Yeah, so Groundhouse is like us, like, you know, look at Bear's energy. Like, he's like this generation's energy, and you have that and you have all of us working together, and the energy is so good. We're all having fun. We're all like anxiety to like crazy because there's so many different ideas that we want to do, and we're just trying to hone it in and then work on our next step of what we're trying to take over.
That's crazy because when I watch the stories, like your story, his, or Groundhouse Burger, it's like I'm like I feel like I'm there.
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like you guys are really like I don't know if it's like coming from a story perspective, or I think it's just like, again, like the moment, embracing the moment. I really feel you guys. Maybe, who knows, maybe if you guys are doing it purposely or not, but you guys are really capitalizing on that. Like, you're making it feel like a together, like in the moment thing. And I
think why people enjoy it is because it's not like it's not made up. Like, we're not planning like, here, we're gonna go shoot this and plan this out. Like, this art, like it Bear's on the spot, like on the camera. Like, hey, I'm on camera now. I was like, oh shit, they're on camera. Like, and he's just messing around. It's just being how he is normally. He's just documenting it.
Yeah.
He's documenting how he is, and this is how it is. And this is how crazy he actually is, and it's so relatable and it's so entertaining that people are like, these guys are tight. Like, I love them. It's like watching a good TV show. You're like, I love that character.
Yeah.
You see Bear, you're like, you gravitate towards it.
Yeah. Dude, that's crazy, man. So, how many restaurants you have under your belt now?
I have 8 or 9 concepts.
Okay.
That I have under my belt.
You have something happening in Chino.
Yep, I have I helped curate this new food hall called the Cravings Village, which is owned by the 99 Ranch Group.
Okay.
And they brought me in to work with that project with them, and I have a few new concepts in there and a few existing concepts with new locations.
And then also you have some work in Riverside.
Yeah, the Riverside Food Lab. If you guys have visited, Pigpen, our newest location there, and it's slamming over there. We have great co-tenants like Monty's Burger, their vegan burger. That place is like slam, like they're killing it too. Sweet Comforts is in there. We just flipped like Riverside like on its head.
Dude, I love it. I'm from I grew up in Riverside, Corona, from the IE. Okay. So just to see that, and of course, if you do tap into the Eastville side, we were talking for those of you guys are wondering, we were just talking about Eastville and its space here because this is where the studio and is located. But anyway, let's we're running out of time a little bit here, but I did want to ask you some some important things here. So it's been like, what, 5 years you've been in the food industry? Approximately?
Almost 5 years. Yeah.
Almost 5 years. What would you say, because this seems just like an exciting journey, man. Like, you know what I mean? What would you say is probably like one of your biggest lessons that you've learned in the food industry?
Biggest lessons in the food industry is it's not easy and as glamorous as, we make it. I think with social media, obviously we make it look super easy. Like, we look like, hey, we got an idea, opens up the next day. It's not that easy. Like, we work really, really hard. And most people always tell you don't go in the food industry, restaurant industry, because it's so tough. Yeah. But I obviously have a king load of concepts in it. Yeah. Put out great product, put out amazing service, build this incredible experience. And if you can do that, things hopefully should fall in line. Also understanding the right locations, like things like there's so many different like things that you need to get familiar with, like really learn and understand what you're jumping into. If you're just going to come in as a cook and you want to open a restaurant, you're in trouble already. It's already you're already dead. Yeah. Because you need to understand food cost side, rents, staffing, front of the house, the way the place looks,
Mm-hmm.
social media now,
Mm-hmm.
getting the right word of mouth, and all these things that if you're just gonna come in, I want to be a chef, but I want to own a restaurant. If you're only gonna be a chef and you own a restaurant and you're doing it by yourself, good luck. It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
It's rough out there.
So there's obviously a lot of things behind the scenes, like
Of course.
Obviously you guys are having fun
course.
and you guys are prospering, but definitely there's a lot of things behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's not restaurant industry numbers are not they're not easy to attain, and I can only imagine for a lot of people out there that don't understand it and are going in this industry. I'm like, dude, how are they surviving? It's so tough already as is.
Mm-hmm.
But the chefs that I work with, they're like, they get it. They came in like, oh, I only want to cook, but now they're understanding like, they understand the food cost game. They understand like rents. They understand how to read contracts, like things like that, like that they don't teach you when you go into like a cooking school.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dang, I find it remarkable that you still, like, even with the apparel, with the food industry, like you didn't have any background in it. You just kind of got involved, and then you just, like you just went with it. You failed a few times here and there, and you just kept, like you said, you picked yourself up and you just kept going. You pushed forward.
I think a lot of people are like, oh, learn, go in the industry, figure out. Honestly, like, there's really no school for it. So there's not really like the school of like entrepreneurship like that. So
yeah,
just jump in and figure out along the way. That's how I've always done it, and it's worked out for me. It probably worked. Some people are probably way better at planning and getting ideas and put it together in a business plan and get it all going.
Yeah.
But sometimes those business plans, like it never leads to anything. And me, it's all like, let's go, let's do it, let's jump in the water, and if it's freezing cold, we'll jump out, and then we'll figure out later. We'll come back in.
Yeah, you guys are all about just go in.
Let's go in. Yeah, we'll figure out along the way. Like, we're gonna mess up. Everyone messes up anyways.
Yeah.
We'll just hopefully nowadays we'll mess up. We'll make less mistakes. We'll do a little smarter this time around than we did the last time.
That's great. It's like it's in its own school. That's your school.
Yeah,
like
it is.
You're figuring it out. Like that's the school right
and
there.
Watching other people asking questions. Me not going to school doesn't mean I'm not still learning. I read books all the time that I'm interested in. I do research. I ask questions. I reach out to people.
Yeah.
And I'm still a student. I drop the ego and I really get in there and like I'm a baby again, just like I'm still learning.
You put yourself back and you're still learning. Like you're constantly learning and you get it. Like you just, man.
Whether it's this industry or the next industry, like whether all those other industries that I want to go and disrupt next.
Yeah. Damn, man, that's crazy. So last question I got for you, and you don't have to answer. Actually, you could plead the fifth if you want. So you got like 9 restaurants under you? Right?
Yeah.
You're probably like, what the hell is EJ gonna ask me? What would you say? And hopefully it doesn't upset any of your investors, partners, or whatever. Yeah. What would you say is which one's your favorite?
Somebody just asked me this earlier at the event earlier. Which one's your favorite? They all have like different meanings, and because the people I work with, they all have a different special place. Obviously, Afters is the first one that I ever did, so it has a special place in my heart, obviously.
Yeah.
But then all the other ones have different person. It's like, I don't know. It's like they're different. Like you're having a bunch of kids and you all love them.
Like you can't have a favorite with these kids.
You just because they're so different. Their personalities are so different that I enjoy all of them different. Like Roundhouse right now, the energy is so fun. I enjoy Donero because the women, they're like amazing women. Or Wingman, Derek was like my assistant before. His was like he worked at Afters for me. Now he's my business partner in Wingman, which is crazy to see. Like that makes me proud. Or like what else? Pigpen was like a project that we started because it was a revolt against leaving GD Roburger. And I was like, our marching out like, fuck you, we're gonna go kill it now. Like we hate you guys. Like, and like they all have like different things that we enjoy.
Yeah, man, that's crazy, man. I think what I find very what I admire about you, it just like you said, obviously there's a lot of hard work behind all of this. But man, you make it. You seem to just be having a lot of fun, and you're passionate about it. I see it. Like I'm not just me. I'm sure everybody sees it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's just, man, dude. Like it just makes me want to dive in right away. It's just something.
Hey,
you know what I'm saying?
That's if you don't dive in, you never know what's going to happen. Yeah. And remember, 5 years ago, if you went and talked to me, hey, you're gonna be like the food guy, like I'd be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Like, no, I'm gonna be the clothing guy forever. That's what I'm known as.
Yeah.
And they're like, and now I'm like, okay, now beyond this, I'm like the world out there. There's so much more that I still want to accomplish now.
Yeah.
That now that I know the possibilities out there and what I want to accomplish next and how I want to attack. I don't see myself in food forever. I hope I don't have to go back to fashion or do anything. I want to go and like attack different industries and disrupt it in a different way and really shift it. I just like going to different industries and making it super, super cool
Mm-hmm.
and making it more like relatable. And if I can go to politics and change it, if I can go to like the music industry and change it, sports, art, whatever I'm into that time, if I can go there and I'm super excited about it and passionate about it, I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna figure out how to shift it. I'm gonna go in there and fuck shit up.
Damn, that's crazy. Did you see my fuck shit up? Yeah, you like that? Huh? I got it. Dude, man, that's crazy, man. Dude, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Dude, like I said, like very fun episode, very fun interview. Do me a favor. I don't know if you watched the previous episodes, you gotta bless my canvas, man. This is my vision board.
All right.
Yeah, I have everybody sign this, man. Yeah, I appreciate you. I know you had a busy day today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Appreciate it, dude, man. This is probably the funnest episode thus far. I learned a lot. And man, dude, episode 6. It's a wrap. Go Lakers.
Lake Show.
Lake Show. Let's do it. Episode 6. We're out.